I'd like to welcome Rick and Felicity to the show.
Yes, Felicity's in us. She's a regular, drops in every time we have a feel. I think it's because we offer the microphone and
and good food.
And good food. There's always that.
Yeah.
She always knows Leanne's been cooking, so
definitely
that's always a plus.
Mm-hmm.
Felicity is one of the bravest people in the world. She's a school chaplain. Got to say, not my calling. I just tell them to all suck it up and put up with it. But, yeah, it's probably why I never got that job.
Fair call.
So, Felicity, how's life at the moment? What's going on in your world?
Look, this week has just been incredibly hectic.
Mm-hmm.
We had a bit of a tragedy, we had a tragedy at one of the schools.
Mm-hmm.
And the beauty in that is there's a recognition for the chaplaincy role.
Right.
And I was asked by one school to have an extra day. Can you come in an extra day to support staff and students? So it's just a real privilege in that it's hard because it is a tragedy, but it's a real privilege to be able to journey along and walk alongside some really amazing people. You know, I'm very privileged with the kids. I work in a high school, I work in a primary school, and I work at a special needs school, so it covers a lot of bases. And I work with some of the most amazing staff. And that particular school where the tragedy was, to just be there to support the staff and also be supported, you know, because life does go on and you've got things that happen and everything. So it's been a bit of a hard week this week, I have to say. Lately it's been a lot of hard weeks, but this week has just been that little bit harder.
Yeah, it's like it's either a hard week or a slightly less hard week.
My comment to my daughter on Monday when I got home was, I rang her and she said, "How are you, Mum?" And I said, "Some days are tougher than others, darling. And can I take my granddaughter to the park and play?" And I took my granddaughter to the park and play, and she's 2 years old, one of them, and that puts your perspective.
Yeah.
You know, chaplaincy sometimes requires we deal with a lot of death, so it's wonderful to deal with such beautiful life.
Yeah.
You know, so
It's been interesting. I've had some interesting conversations today. We've had quite a few pastors through the place, and unpacking that whole thing of our appeals about be the change.
Yes.
And it's sort of the whole concept, it's like it's a multifaceted thing. But one thing in particular we're talking to is about how young people, this coming generation, this younger generation right now, they're not that interested in truth, but they're really interested in authenticity.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, we grew up, my baby boomer generation, like you had the truth and things stood on the truth, and that was important because it is, and you know, very, very simple in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of our younger people now, it's like, I don't care if it's truth or not. I want it to be real.
Yes. Yeah,
and
I agree with
real
that.
is sort of the on-ramp to the truth.
Yes.
Rather than being an outcome of the truth.
Yes.
So I'm sure you would find, dealing with these young people today, you are getting the chance to be authentic.
Oh, definitely.
In your faith. And that is going to say much more to them than anything that comes out of your mouth.
Yeah, totally. We had a sermon a couple of weeks ago, and there was that discussion around I call it the J-bomb, the Jesus bomb or the G-bomb, you know. It hangs when you hang out with teenagers for too long. But, and I think sometimes, like I love dropping the J-bomb, you know, when appropriate, but I think it's so important to show who Jesus is.
Yeah.
Show the love of Jesus. I had a conversation with one of the counsellors today, and we were just talking about different things, and he's into existentialism and all these sorts of things.
Which I can't even spell.
Well, I didn't say it very well, but anyway. And just the different theories, and he's a philosopher, and just talking about things. And he was saying about, like, change, that people change when they're sick of the old record sort of thing, the same old story. Yeah. And I was able to say to him, and yes, and people change also through love. When they're loved, they change. And that is actually the gospel message, isn't it? So just be able to share it like that was just beautiful, to be able to sort of say that. And I said to him, you know, frequently I get handed kids who have attachment disorder. And it's like, oh, good. Now, good, Felicity's here. So
she can deal with this one.
I can, and do that, because a lot of my role is being a mum, to be that person who can stand there through the storm, to love them, to care for them, you know, make them a hot chocolate or whatever, you know, and just sit there and be that. So, it's just, I think, and if you're not authentic, they'll pick it. These kids will pick it straight away, whether they be in the support, like in the special needs school, or in primary school or high school. They'll pick authenticity straight away.
I think I can't remember which pastor it was I was talking to, but what we were reflecting on is the fact that authenticity, or the realness of what we say, so often shows out in those moments of crisis.
Yes.
It's how do we deal with the death?
Yep.
How do we deal with the crisis? Because that's when you find out, is your faith real? And that's when they find out, is what you've been saying real? Or are you just another act? Are you just another hypocrite that spouts all this stuff off, but when it hits the fan, you just fall apart like the rest of us? And I mean, that's where you live, in that place.
A lot of the times I do. A lot of the times, to be honest, I do. I get told this was something that was impacting the whole school, but I deal a lot of times with students coming to me, and it's a crisis within their own life and within their own family, and some of them are a huge crisis. So to be able to sort of sit there, but then, like, you know, I've also gone home and cried, or I've gone and found somewhere to cry, and I'm constantly crying out to God. I'm sitting there going, God, you're just going to have to help me with that. And people say to me, like, how do you come out with all of this? And I said, well, a lot of it's prayer. I'm just sitting there going, right, God, I've got nothing. You know, help me with this, and be able to do that. But to be able to say that is so good, and to, like I said, walk through that journey for however long it takes. And sometimes you just see some amazing outcomes. I've got a student who, it's horrible last year, but what happened last year was just an outcome of some really horrible things. This girl's life is just very messy, and she was so excited. She got to school and everything was fine. She didn't realise I was there, but because I'd swapped days for whatever reason, and this girl was at her, and she was so proud of herself. Instead of punching her and probably knocking her out, she actually left the school.
Standard reaction.
That was her standard reaction. She actually left the school. And what I love about the school is when they found that out, they contacted her to make sure she was all right. So there wasn't any, like, she rang her nan, who she calls mum, to tell her what had happened. And she came to a group that I was running, and she said, I just want to, before the group, she said, I just want to say thank you. You know, you have helped me so much. And she was so proud of herself. And, you know, just things that she learned. She said, this is what you've taught me, you know, to do it differently. And I'm so proud of her, you know, to be able to do that. And and then she took it further and actually shared it with another student about how she handles things differently now, instead of, because that's their reaction. They are hurting and they want to lash out. But it was just, and I'm thinking, she just came back to say thank you, and I'm proud of herself.
It's great that she recognised that, isn't it?
Yes.
Like she actually processed that whole thing.
Yes, and it is. It's just amazing to sort of to join in with that, join in with that journey. And this girl's so very honest with me. So very honest. I get a lot of honesty.
I would imagine that whole, want to call it a witness, whatever, of how you cope under crisis, that would almost be a stronger message to the staff and the parents than even to the kids. In some ways, because they're in some ways they're dealing it from the same perspective as you, as a fully adult perspective, rather than a child, which is a whole different mindset. And they're looking, how come you're not falling apart? We are. What's different?
Yes. I think there's that, and that acknowledgement, you know, like I say to them, I actually don't have a magic wand, but just to go and sit next to them and to let them know that I care.
Yeah.
And part of that is I've been meaning to make banana cakes, but it's just been too crazy. I'm not a good cook like Leanne, but it's made with love. So that's what I'll do. And there'll be two faculties. I'll drop it in their staff room, and also the front office. And that's just one way.
Very practical help.
It is, and it's just like,
makes people feel blessed.
I'm thinking of you. I care about you. I remember hearing, before you tell me how much you know, show me how much you care.
Exactly.
And I don't know how biblical that is.
I think it's 100%. It may not be written in there.
I know, but
it's in there.
You look at Jesus. Who did he shared, he loved.
Yes.
And he shared the words with, you know, different groups of people, but he showed everybody the love.
Yeah. Felicity, want to unpack one more point before we let you head off? Brand Christianity is damaged at the moment. Brand Church is damaged. How do we be the change in a sense that rebuilds trust with our young people? You're probably as close to the coalface with the young kids as anyone.
And my tribe, I know quite a few chaplains.
And your tribe. How do we, as the body of Christ and as individuals, as part of the body, how do we win back that trust to try and build up? And I'm not caring about the credibility of the church. I'm caring about the credibility of Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. And I think when you talk to other chaplains, that, you know, because we get together and talk, I think that's what it's about. It's about Jesus. We all go to different churches, but we're part of the church. For me, I think it always starts and ends with prayer. And I think that's the very, very first thing that we need to be doing, is praying for these young people. Kids and young people. Like, I know my organisation is, when you go past the school, slow down and pray. When you see the 40K sign outside every school, whether it be a primary or high school, special needs, whatever, is to be praying for the young people. I think when we come across some of my little darlings, so you're up the northern end of the coast, there's some of my students, I love them to bits, and life is really tough for them. They don't always present quite nicely. And so being able to smile and be sort of like genuine and not frowning at them and not judging them goes a long way.
Oh, look at those young people, they're probably up to trouble.
Now, in our day and all of that, they don't need that. They already know and feel that they're failing anyway. So to have the eyes of judgment. If you know that the school near you has a chaplain, contact them and see what can you do to help them. Do you know what I mean? And there's different organisations that are putting chaplains in schools. Your sphere, do it in your sphere. Who's your next door neighbour? Do you know what I mean? Like, do they, you know, are there kids next door? You know, talk to them. Be kind, be caring. It's just that practical. And be willing to change. Like I was saying in the break, you know, every year when the theme comes out, it always I get quite reflective about it. And
that's good.
you know, be the change means that I need to be changing to be the change, and I'm constantly being stretched. So, you know, and I have people say, oh yeah, but kids and young people, that's your thing. Oh, okay, fair call, but we have lots of kids and young people in our lives.
We were one day.
Yeah. Shouldn't we just
a long time ago?
Yeah, a long time ago for me too. but shouldn't we be connecting in whatever way we can? How are you connected with the kids and young people in your church? You know, are you connecting with them and talking to them?
Do you even try to engage in a conversation with them, or do you assume they won't want to talk to you?
Yeah, I think that's probably a big thing too. Oh, I don't think they want to talk to me or that. Do you know what? Maybe they don't want to listen to you, but they might want to talk to you.
True.
Do you know what I mean? And earn that. Like, I think we always kind of think, oh, you know, but I need to kind of tell them something. Well, sometimes no, you don't.
No.
Sometimes you need to just listen. It takes time.
Stop trying to have the answer.
Yes.
Because sometimes there isn't an answer to what they're facing.
That's exactly right. So often that's what I'm saying to them, and it's like, you know, I'm just really sorry that's happening for you and to you, you know, and I have no idea why. You know, I mean, we know it's a fallen world and all of that, but I don't even need to say that to
at that
kids
point in time, that's probably not that helpful.
Yeah, and it's not appropriate. But it's also, they already know that, they're living it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, so I think just if we can show kindness and care and smile, smile goes a long way. I get the most gorgeous smiles when I walk into a school. Absolutely, staff and students, you know, and it's lovely.
Yeah.
Well, Felicity, thank you for your time. And again, as I said at the start, absolute hero. I just want to applaud what you do. I know to you, you love it, and it's not hard for you to do that.
Oh, it's hard some days.
Well, okay, yes, it is hard. But, really appreciate all you've sown into those kids' lives. It does mean a lot. And, I know you hear it from them.
Yeah.
But from us as well, that we appreciate you guys working on the coalface in chaplaincy. It's a tough gig, but I'm really glad there's people like you who've got the courage and the calling to do it.
Thank you. That's amazing. We are so lucky and blessed on the coast. We have amazing chaplains. Some amazing ones around.
And praise God, funding has continued for a bit longer.
And I've
so
had
thank
staff
you, Lord,
approach
for that.
me. I've had staff go, yes, and I'm thinking, you're on point with all of this. That's pretty good. So they're pretty excited too.
So people keep praying for that funding will continue, because it is really, really important, probably more so than we can realise.
Yeah.
So be part of being the change. Give to our June appeal, 4367 4042, and we can help play music and stuff that helps Felicity get through her hard days. So there really is an impact far beyond just entertainment.
Totally.
That's right. Singing out loud in the car.
That's her de-stressing period.
That's badly. On the way to and away from.
That's why it's in the car. No one else can hear it.
Oh, thank you for being here, Felicity.
Thank you.